Well, look at this crew today. We've got a full house. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. We've played the hot seat before in other programs, but this is totally different because let me tell you, in digital marketing, we get all kinds of questions. So today, instead of just kind of going with the boring old Q&A fashion, we thought we would just slingshot random questions to our team of marketing gurus with the help of Perry over here and just see how well they all know digital marketing. So let's get going. That's so cool. I love it. If that doesn't put you in a good mood, I don't know what will.
I know. It's like, I'll have that in my head.
Bleeding.
Have that in my head the rest of the day. All right. Welcome to Marketing Mix, everybody. We're just so glad to have you today. And we have a special guest with us. We have our lovely moderator joining us this morning, Miss Perry Barzagari from the Shelby County Chamber. Good morning, Perry.
Good morning. I'm excited.
We're excited to have you. So she's really going to help us out on the hot seat today. So this should be very interesting. As Sarah said, she's going to be throwing some questions at us, and we don't ever know who's going to be up next because we have a really special wheel, I guess you would say, that we're going to be pulling up. So Sarah, let's look at our platforms first.
Yes,
so everyone knows where to find us.
Of course. Okay. Do not forget that we go live every week on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and you can catch the replay on Instagram and LinkedIn. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do yourself a favor and subscribe to our podcast, Marketing in a Mic. And do not forget about our YouTube channel.
All right.
Every week we are putting up brand new videos, all in the name of digital marketing.
Everybody's muting, not muting. It's like, where is that sound coming from? All right, so tell us about the wheel we have, Sarah. So how's this going to work this morning?
Okay, so thanks to the help of Perry, she's going to help us with this. So how it'll work is we're going to have a wheel that's going to pop up, and I'm going to spin it. Whatever name it lands on, they are going to get a random question from Perry. So we all have to be ready. And the reason, here's the thing, we're all little gurus in our own special area. And so we just feel like, hey, constantly getting questions. We always are getting questions about digital marketing. So we thought what better way is to just handle these and tackle them in a fun way. And everybody will get a question in their area of expertise, but you've got to be ready.
Woo, fun and exciting. And I want to say good morning to LaVon Cheney this morning. She's joining us. LaVon, good to see you today. All right, Perry, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, let me get this bad boy up. All right, let's get going.
Ooh, I'm so nervous. Aha. Woohoo, Sarah!
I gotta be first.
All right, Sarah, my question for you, and I hope your seat is not feeling too warm. What is the first thing someone should do when setting up their social media platforms?
I'm going to tell you something that's really basic. Okay. And that some people may not think about, but one of the things that you really need to pay attention to is making sure your business page is set up completely. So before you go into all your social platforms, whatever you're on, make sure it's set up as a business because that's huge. Don't just set up my business, but it's on my personal page because business pages have all different perks. You get insights, get different analytics. You can get more people, more followers. There's just so much to it. But the biggest thing is just making sure everything is complete. And what I mean by that is your phone number, your address, your business description, your services, all of those things, because actually you get dinged if you don't have it complete, and it all needs to be consistent. So that would be my first thing. Did I do okay?
Fantastic.
Yes. Okay.
And the wheel.
And now I get to take a break.
Well, maybe not if it chooses you again.
I know. Okay, I gotta get it to sharing. Sorry, there's just a couple steps. I know. If it gets me again, this is rigged.
We'll just sit here and let you answer everything.
Yeah.
Woo, Kels.
That's me.
Hooray! Okay.
What you got, Perry?
I'm not going to get tired of that confetti. My question is, what is a pet peeve that you see on social media?
Oh gosh. I would have to say online reviews, and I guess I have to kind of elaborate on that. It's kind of multifaceted because online reviews are everything. And I see people that leave their experiences, and based off their description, it's one of those things where I can tell that person didn't try to rectify the situation or go to management before they decided to leave a bad review online. And I just think that that's kind of petty because your online reputation is everything, and those reviews carry a lot of weight. And so I understand sometimes businesses mess up and sometimes 1-star reviews are warranted, but I think that it's important to try to talk to the business, figure out the situation, and then if it can't be rectified, then go leave them a bad review. Don't just throw it out there like crazy. It drives
But they're entertaining to read.
Well,
I don't
that
doubt
wasn't
that,
your business.
Yeah.
Then not so much.
You know what I would say to add to that is when the business owner, when they get a bad review and the business owner just loses it on them.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, I don't like you either. Don't come back.
Oh, that's horrible. And then when there's 1-star reviews that have no description, it's like, what did they do to make you mad?
Oh,
You know?
my God, that's so
Yeah,
true. Okay,
I agree with you on that one. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, gang, let's do this again. Oh,
It's the Kelsey Show.
we won't.
Fine with me.
We'll give you a break.
Okay.
Give you good. Boy, it really likes to put your name out there. Okay, let's do this again. I know we need a Glenna. We need a Rob. We need a. We're not. I'm gonna spin this again until it gets to Glenna and Rob.
Third time's a charm.
I can't take too many questions in a row.
I'm good with just sitting here. I'm plenty entertained.
You know what's so funny is I was doing this last night. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You've gotta take one.
Yeah, I was about to say I just gotta do it.
Yep. Take one for the team.
I love that I get to ask the questions because this is just stuff I want to know. So,
Well, good.
Sarah, what is the etiquette on tagging businesses and doing the hashtags on Instagram and other social media platforms?
Okay. Instagram is a big one, and I'm really excited about this because there's more and more that I'm learning that's making me excited. So, tagging. What you need to do instead of tagging, and there's that big bulk. You know how sometimes you see somebody on Instagram, they have their post, they have their comment, and then there's this huge chunk of text in the body of the post. Don't do that. What you want to do instead is put all of your hashtags in the comment section. And again, this just comes down to etiquette and how it looks. It's almost like Instagram is wanting to have to clean it all up. So it's kind of like that unspoken like faux pas of like, oh, don't put all your text in the body or don't put all your hashtags in the text. So put it in the comments. So your first comment should be that. The other thing is to tag the image. And don't tag, you know how you put the @ and then all the people.
Hallelujah.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Tag the image. There's not only does it look better, but also through Instagram, that's how it will tag the other individual. So they can see, they have their own section where they can see who all has tagged them and they can share it. They can do whatever with it. So that helps huge. With other platforms, all of them are becoming a little bit more search friendly. And what I mean by that is that you could go into your search bar and you can find stuff by hashtags. So it is important to include them, not as much as Instagram, because Instagram you can do like 11 to 30 is what's like the etiquette on Instagram. So just do a few and make them super relevant. And you can search and you need to search to see what's relevant to your business because it helps you get found. Long-winded, but I hope that helps.
I like it's good info for me.
I'll tell you what, instead of spinning the wheel, we could just have Perry. She could just pick somebody randomly and mix it up if you want to do that.
Yeah, I never get to talk to Rob, so I'd love to ask him a question.
Go for it. Just
All right,
randomly.
Rob, what would you say is your digital marketing superpower?
I thought the first question you were going to ask me is what's the capital of North Dakota? I've got that written on my arm. It's Bismarck. No. One of the things that I think that I have a knack for is to understand where a business can reach their customers. And what I mean by that is, for instance, there was a pest control company that was running ads on Facebook. Well, if I see a mouse run across my kitchen floor, the first thing I'm not going to do is go to Facebook trying to scroll going, I saw this pest control. I know they're here. You have to understand how the customer's looking for you. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I enjoy helping customers out with.
And Perry, you have to understand, you're right. You haven't got to talk to Rob. We keep him tucked away in his technical digital world, but Rob has many superpowers. Thank goodness. We'll brag on him a little bit, but yeah, his superpowers are many, including making everything work. So he's on the tech team. He makes all the SEO work. He makes all the Google AdWords, Facebook ads, all that. So he has many superpowers, so I had to brag a little bit.
That's like it.
Mm-hmm. He's our brain in a lot of ways.
Well, all right. I won't take that personally, Sarah. Rob's a brain.
You know what? I said he's a brain in a lot of ways, not every way. So I saved myself. Yeah, I'm trying to do that so I don't make anybody feel excluded. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of areas that I can't touch that those two know very well.
All right, Perry, we'll leave it up to you. You just run with it.
All right. Well, you're last, but clearly not least, Glenna. So we're going to ask you a question. All right. Tell me, which is more beneficial in the long run for our small business owners, Facebook ads or Google ads?
That's one of those, it depends. Almost. It's kind of like what Rob was just saying. Facebook ads are appropriate for some businesses and not others. Like he was talking about the pest control company. It's more of an impulse ad on Facebook. So it's something that you have to catch people's attention. So you have to just make sure that you have the right business for each type of ad. So it really just depends. I hate to give that, but depends on your business. So I'll leave it at that because I'm like Sarah, I could go on and on and on all day long. But what we're good at is having that consult. And like Rob mentioned, is really look at the business and make sure that we are fitting them with the appropriate type of ad to make it work, the best that we can for them.
That's awesome. Are we wheeling or am I the wheel now?
You are the wheel.
Okay, I'm going to circle back to Kelsey to ask, what is the difference between brand identity and brand awareness? And for simpletons like me, you might have to do a little in-depth dive for that.
Okay. So your brand identity is basically going to be the culmination of what makes up your brand. And that's going to start obviously visually with your colors, your logo, but it's actually going to trickle down into the actual culture of your company as well. How people identify your customer service relations, everything from your colors to that. So your brand awareness is the audience's familiarity with your brand. How memorable are you? So I think that if I said Chick-fil-A, you could visualize the Chick-fil-A logo, the colors. That's brand awareness. How much does your audience know about you based off of that brand identity? Does that, do you get, okay.
That's awesome. All right, Rob, you're up one more time. What are some trends that we need to start paying attention to?
Some trends that really, I mean, they're still around. They've been here for a while. Is you have to make everything look natural, and what I mean by that is you don't stuff keywords into stuff. You don't write just for the bots and stuff like that on your website. You still have a human that's coming to that website that's going to make a buying decision. So make sure you just write naturally for your website, your blog post, for all your content, because overall, it doesn't matter if you rank number one if the consumer comes there and is turned off by what you wrote with your content.
Great. All right. I think we got to go back to Sarah, even though Will liked her and I like her too. All right, tell me this one. Why should a business have a blog?
Oh, I'm passionate about this. I really am, because there's such a misconception about blogs. People think blogs is like glorified journaling, and it's just could not be further from the truth. Every single business, to me, should have a blog. And the reason why is blogs help with SEO. And we've talked about SEO a lot, plenty on this show. But that is Google's way of identifying your business online. And they have like a laundry list of stuff of expectations that they need that build your credibility. Well, blogs, the reason why blogs are so important is, let's say you're searching on Google for a topic, you find a blog or you find an article, whatever you want to call it, you click on it, that takes you to that person's website. Google and the search engines love that. They love people going to your website. And that's the whole point. When you have more people going to your website, they're like, good job. Search engines are like, we love it. And so it builds your credibility and your rankings. So if beyond that, beyond just the SEO, obviously, it builds credibility as your business. You have an opportunity to connect with customers. You have an opportunity to look as be an expert in your area. So there's just like so many different ways to it. But yeah, you need a blog and you need to keep it current, updated, not once a year.
That's awesome. I was picturing the live journal days, and you're right. It is so much more.
Yes.
So much more that you can do now.
That's so true. Yeah.
All right, Glenna, you're in the hot seat one more time. What makes you cringe more, a poorly done email campaign or a poorly built website?
Oh my gosh, I have to choose. Well, I would say on an email campaign, I'll tell you a couple things that make me cringe, and then I'll pick one. But the email campaign, I hate when you get an email campaign and it says, "Dear first name, last name." It's like, it's not working. So
you mean when they like don't put your name in it? They don't put like Glenna on the like
first name, last name. I got
insert name.
Yeah, I got one of those the other day, and I was like, wow, okay, nope, all right, delete. But website, I'd have to say website is probably the worst, and I guess it's maybe because of the business we're in. I hate going to a website that doesn't work, let alone a website that's not appealing or doesn't look well. To me, you can have one that doesn't look so great, and you can get away with it if it works well. If it doesn't work well, then I'm bouncing off, and those people don't realize how quickly people will bounce off your website. And by that, I mean, if the page won't load, they can't find what they want, it's confusing, there's not enough info on it. Yeah, you're going to lose so much business, and that drives me crazy because I just know that there's so many better ways of doing it. So I guess I'll go website.
The lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Right. Kelsey, I've got a good question for you. And this pertains to YouTube, and all I know about YouTube these days are those unboxing videos that my daughter makes me watch. So you've got to tell me, why should somebody use YouTube for digital marketing?
Okay, so it's actually twofold. I think the first thing that's important to mention is that video content is everything these days. If your business is online on social media and you're not utilizing video marketing, your competitors are going to be gaining your audience's attention. So you absolutely need to incorporate video. And if you're incorporating video, you need to have a channel dedicated to those videos on YouTube, because YouTube, it's not a search engine, but it is a platform that is highly, highly searchable. And it is the second most used platform to search right behind Google. So if you have video, it absolutely has to be on YouTube, because that's how you are going to get found most likely. Do it. Get on there.
Well, and the other thing too is a lot of people don't know this. YouTube's actually owned by Google, and Google loves Google. So
Loves Google.
That's what I was going to say. That's awesome. I had no idea. So again, just asking those questions to benefit me. Rob, this is, again, if another superpower question, kind of. What would be more exciting for you, having all of Google's algorithms or before anybody else gets them, or having an unlimited campaign budget to work with? I can just see the
Dollar bills.
it is a smoke to rise up behind you right now.
even though the unlimited budget does sound very tempting, I would have to go with all the algorithms, because if you really had that, you could be, king of the world.
I agree with that too. Sometimes I want to Google something real simple, and I have to really think about how to put it in so that they'll give me exactly what I'm looking for. So that makes sense. All right, Sarah, you're up one more time. What's better, live streams or pre-recorded videos? Hello.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah, this is a good question. So they both serve different purposes. And I think that's what's great. So they both have their own benefits. And I think the important thing is to know how to best use them. Live streams are very great. They're very powerful. They're becoming incredibly powerful. I mean, you think about a year ago, we weren't doing all this. So I think it's just sort of that whole, I would say you really need to do both, but you need to do them both in certain elements. Now, the one thing that's really coming with pre-recorded videos is making them short and sweet. They're even making mini podcasts now, where they're like 6-minute little podcasts. And it's just, I think it just all comes down to our attention span. We don't have a lot of attention span, but a lot of these social platforms like Instagram, they're all, Instagram Reels are all doing these short videos. So those are important. And again, we always talk about creating content that's good for everybody. So everybody's taste. So I would say to do both, but just do them both in their way that they should be. Pre-recorded are great for just like little nuggets, like little bits of information, little teasers. And live streams are good for like this, like and more informative.
I agree. What do you feel about the Facebook Live? I can ask a follow-up question. Do you think that's part of it?
As part of what the live
like a business using their Facebook Live to pop something up?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different platforms to do live streams. I mean, we use StreamYard just because it's got a lot of bells and whistles. But Facebook Live is a perfectly good platform as well.
Awesome. All right, Kelsey, this is a great question. What are some important tools that can help me stay, and everybody on here today, help us stay organized on social media?
Okay, so if you're doing your own social media marketing, I would first of all highly suggest that you put together a content calendar, whatever form that works best in for you. We personally have one at Fusion One that we utilize. But that's a great way to keep all of your thoughts organized, all of your content organized, so you can visually see what's happening on a month-to-month basis, and you can track things like that. You can have little notes in there that you plug in your analytics just to keep you at the forefront of what your plan is and keep you on track. But then I would also add Canva is an incredible tool. I wouldn't say it's like mostly for organization, although it does have organization capabilities. I think it's a great place to centralize all of your imagery. And if you're going to create graphics or try to animate any of your graphics or anything like that, it's a great tool to do that. So you could use it as an organization tool to keep all of that stuff there, and then keep your content calendar over here with all of your content information.
That's great. So I do have another follow-up question, but this is for Glenna. Is there a way, Glenna, to keep up with the progress of your marketing campaign?
Yes, most definitely. Most people are familiar with Google Analytics, and that's something that we can load onto your website, and it keeps track of everything as far as visitors coming to your website. It gives you such great information, but we like to even take it one step further. You do have the ability to put tracking numbers on all of the things that you do in digital marketing or on the internet. That way, you know, when those calls come in to those numbers, what return you're getting off of your marketing dollars from the internet. So there's definitely great tools out there. We have one that we have created for our customers. It's kind of a custom tool that brings all that information in to where you can just have everything in one spot to be able to see the calls that had come from the internet, what your website traffic is doing, because you would be surprised, Perry, and this is something to even talk to chamber members about. If they're paying money to someone for their marketing and they don't know what they're getting out of it, then it's just a shame. You shouldn't really be doing it if you don't know what you're benefiting from that money being spent. So tracking to us is everything.
That's so important.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rob, tell me this. When should we all consider using reputation management services?
Well, I would have a possible situation we could talk about, but we won't.
No, let's leave that one out.
The easiest, the best answer to that question would be is your reviews, your online reviews are the first thing that happens, but it even goes further than that. I mean, there's websites out there that all they do is write negative things about you, and those things can rank and also need reputation management. But usually what it is it's a company needs help with the reviews, whether that's Google, Facebook, the Yellow Pages, things like that. And kind of like what Kelsey was talking about is, first of all, understanding how to even reply to a bad review, how to understand that, hey, that may have happened in my business. What do I need to do to correct that? So there's a lot of things that we can help in the reputation management, not just with the reviews, but also help how they respond and how they are perceived out there.
That's great. You almost got a black screen there. You went too far at the beginning. All right. Do you think we have time for one more, everybody? Since I'm the wheel now?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. I want to ask Kelsey, which is more essential, number of engagements or number of the followers and all those likes? I like the likes.
We all love the likes. But I will say engagement is more important than having people like your page, follow your page. And the reason for that is you could have 100,000 people that like and follow your page, but if they're not engaging in your content, nobody's going to see your content. You could have 100 people that like and follow your page. And if all 100 of those or 90% of those people are liking and commenting, then their circle, their network is going to see those posts and it's going to keep growing and growing. So engagement is a much higher priority than gaining a massive following.
That's great. Do you think those hearts and likes are as important as when people comment, or it just kind of balances out?
I would say your comments are going to have a little bit more weight. Reactions are great though. Likes are kind of your standard reaction. If you have hearts and wows and things like that, they kind of have a little bit more of an edge. But comments and sharing is 100% where it's at. If you want to support your friends that own businesses, liking their posts is amazing, but engaging more with those posts, like commenting and sharing, is going to get them far more visibility.
Yes, good point.
That's good. I'm trying to get better at commenting when I share something for one of our investors here. So that's great information. All right, Glenna, if you could only pick one digital marketing search service, which would you say is your MVP?
It's almost like you knew what I was going to say. It would be search engine optimization, or what we call SEO. That is my all-time favorite, and I know people get tired of hearing me say it over and over and over, but if SEO is done correctly for a business, it can make all the difference in the world. We've started with businesses that just opened their door, and within a few months, they get more business coming in. And even if they the longer they stick with it, the more business we can create for them through SEO. So it can literally drive traffic to your business. And it turns into like a profit center for you. You pay for us. That's our first goal, is make sure that you're paying for us. But then our second goal is we want it to be your biggest money maker, so that you don't even have to think about what you're spending on it. So I would definitely have to say SEO.
Awesome. All right. If we're still good on time, I'm going to ask Sarah, give us one trending tip on what businesses should be doing right now on social media.
Video, baby. That is it. Absolutely. Because, and again, I was talking about this a little bit earlier, the whole short duration videos are becoming increasingly popular. So even if you did a long form video, condense it, find your little sweet clip from it, and put it on Instagram, or do Instagram Reels, or put it on Facebook. But put video out there. Just don't be afraid of the camera. Video is still the the highest engaging form of content. I was going to get that out, but it still is. It's the top one. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with it.
That's great. You guys are breaking me in on being on camera, so we're going to get there. We're going to get some chamber videos out there.
I think you're a natural. I think you're good.
Yeah. So did we do okay? Are we off the hook now?
I think so. I was going to say, Perry, we really appreciate you helping us out for sure. And I hope some people learn some things. And it looks like we have some other people joining us. Steve Johnson, Peyton Thomas, and Cindy Edmonds are joining us this morning. So I wanted to say hi to them. But I think we'll wrap it up. I think we had some more questions. I think you had more, and who knows, maybe we do a part 2. I don't know. But we do these kind of segments just to kind of mix it up a little bit. That's why we call this Marketing Mix. So I want to thank everyone for showing up and watching today, but special thanks to Perry from the Shelby County Chamber. And let me give them just a little plug. I hear people complaining a little bit now that we're on Zoom and all that stuff, that they don't have any place to network. They don't have any place to plug in. Well, then you're not looking in the right spot. So you need to go to the shelbychamber.org. Is that correct, Perry?
That's us.
They have networking things still going on Zoom. The Women's Business Council is next week. They have different groups that you can plug into. So there's all kinds of things going on at the chamber. So if you're really interested about getting busy and networking, especially going through all of this, there's no reason not to check out the chamber. So thanks so much, Perry, for helping us out today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And as always, if y'all need any help with digital marketing, any of the topics we talked about today, or just anything in general, we love to brainstorm with you. So contact us and we will sit down with you and see what we can help you with. So until then, come back next week on Friday at 8:00 and we'll have another Marketing Mix, and we will see you then. Thank you.
Bye.